Page 354. 354. Tell me the story of Jesus. 354. Tell me the story of Jesus, who write on my heart every word. Tell me the story, precious, sweetest than ever was heard. Tell how the angels in chorus sang as they welcomed his birth. Glory to God in the highest, peace and good tidings to earth. Tell me the story of Jesus, who write on my heart every word. Tell me the story, most precious, sweetest than ever was heard. Fasting alone in the desert, tell of the days are past, how for our sins he was tempted, yet is triumphant at last. Tell of the years of labor, tell of the sorrow he bore. He was despised and afflicted, homeless, rejected, and poor. Tell me the story, Jesus, who write on my heart every word. Tell me the story, most precious, sweetest than ever was heard. Tell of the cross where they nailed him, writhing in anguish and pain. Tell of the grave where they laid him, tell how he liveth again. And love in that story so tender, clearer than ever I see. Stay, let me weep while you whisper, love paid the ransom for me. Tell me the story of Jesus, who write on my heart every word. Tell me the story, most precious, sweetest than ever was heard. Amen. Well, good evening. Amen. Good to have the Lambert family with us. He pastors in Grenada, and I know all of you know Tom Patterson. And back when he first went to Grenada, Tom did, and then he had to come back to the States for some medical reasons. Brother Lambert said that he worked with him way back then. He has been pastoring down there for over 35 years. Amen. Good to have him here. And he was part of that container of Bibles and tracts that got into Grenada, and he was part of that. Amen. If you've seen the video, he was in it. Amen. He is a star now. Amen. No, good to have him and his family here. Really are, and hope they feel welcome and make them feel welcome. And looking forward, he's going to be preaching tonight. Amen. Brother Delaney, you want to pray for us this evening?
Amen. Lord Jesus, thank you. We had a desire to pray many times. Thank you, Lord, for that desire you put in our hearts.
Yeah.
Just say,
Amen.
Lord, if people don't have that desire to be in church, Lord, have them to check up. Because this is where you want to be when the doors are open. So thank you for that desire. We pray you bless the preacher tonight, and a few minutes we got to talk to him. And thank you, Lord, that just we're on the same page.
Amen.
For Brother Tom, his work there, and then we'll hear from that island again tonight. And just pray that you bless him, the preacher, the power, and the presence of the Holy Spirit in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Let's remain standing and turn to page number 20. Page number 20, Standing on the Solid Rock. Page number 20. Through my disappointment, strife, and discontentment, I cast my every care on the Lord. No matter what accession, pain or deep depression, I'm standing on the solid rock. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storms that rages, rich, but not from Satan's wages, standing on the solid rock. Even though he's gone now, I don't feel alone now. With comfort came the Spirit of the Lord. Now with his word guide me, from temptation hide me, I'm standing on the solid rock. I'm standing on the rock of ages, saved from all the storms that rages, rich and not from Satan's wages. I'm standing on the solid rock. Now I'm pressing onward, each step leads me homeward. I'm trusting in my Savior day by day. And close is our relation, firm as its foundation. So on the solid rock I'll stay. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storms that rages, and rich, but not from Satan's rages. I'm standing on the solid rock.
Amen. Good singing. Amen. Get our men up here to receive an offering tonight. Amen. If you're visiting, don't feel obligated to give. We're glad you're here with us tonight. Amen. I'm very thankful that our people are faithful and meet the needs. Amen. I really am. Amen. I'm going to ask Brother Souping here tonight if he'll pray for the offering. Amen.
Father, we come before you throne of grace. How grateful we are for you.
Amen.
Father, you are so kind, so loving, and you're always there. Father, I don't know how they do it today, but Father, those that we learned about this morning, for whatever reason, turn their back on you, Father. We pray.
Amen.
They will give themselves to you. Father, what a life. At 79 years, Father, you've been so good to me all along, Father. I love you for that. Appreciate that. Thank you for that. Now, as we come to this part of our service tonight, Father, we ask you to bless us all. We give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory for Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. Amen. Thank you very much, Greenlee. And appreciate her. She's an encouraging young lady. Amen. And, you know, it's hard to get up in front of people to play an instrument or sing. And, man, I'm glad when these young people do it. Amen. All right. This Wednesday, we will be having a special day this Wednesday. And I've had people, some asked about, hey, can we get involved in eating the pizza with the kids? I don't know. Maybe we should. Amen. And maybe we should take a vote on that. It sounds good, doesn't it? Amen. How many like pizza? How many like it and can't eat it? Just only me, a couple of us. Amen. All right. But you know what? Invite the kids out tonight. We're going to have back to school gifts for all the children. Amen. All the children. So pizza, will be some games at night. So that'll be a good time. There will be a track league work day this Tuesday, amen, at the Fellowship Track League. You want to come by and help, I know it would be appreciated. And also there's a cleaning day down there, August 26th, 9 a.m. to noon at the church. I know that's the most exciting day, isn't it, when you get to come to church and clean like that? Thank you. Hey, you got 2 amens and a bunch of oh me's. And anyways, hey, this needs to be done.
anyways, just a little bit of extra them a couple days, amen. And tonight, don't forget, we're going to take up a little offering in just a minute for Avery, amen. Now, one more thing is, I don't normally hammer issues like this, but our state constitution, and I seen a commercial, and man, was it deceiving. And it said, vote no if you want to keep the majority vote. I go, no, when you got to be deceitful to get for your stance, you know you're on the wrong side. When you got to lie, cheat, and steal to do it, amen. So anyways, people ask me how I'm voting yes. I'll look at it. Anyhow, this out there on their table, I've been hammering this last couple of weeks. Yeah, enough said, all right? I've been hammering on that, but please, I know we get busy, get out and vote, all right? Make sure you get out and vote for that. And again, good to have the Lamberts with us, and that's Pastor Lambert, Miss Caroline, and MJ and Maya, amen. And I asked him if that was short for Michael Jordan, if he could play basketball like him. He smiled, but he said no, amen. So good to have them with us tonight. Looking forward to hearing him preach.
Okay, let's stand once more and turn to page number 300. Page 300. Oh, say but I'm glad. 300.
There is a song in my heart today, something I never had. Jesus has taken my sins away. Oh, say but I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad, I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad. Jesus has come and my cup's overrun. Oh, say but I'm glad.
How many remember when you got saved? Remember when you was glad? I seen some of you that got saved here, and I know you was happy, amen. I remember when I got saved, I was happy. So let's sing like it, amen. Let's put our tonsils on our tongue and let it rip.
Here we go. Verse number 2.
Wonderful, marvelous love he brings into a heart that's sad. Through darkness tunnels and so can sing. Oh, say but I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad, I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad. Jesus has come and my cup's overrun. Oh, say but I'm glad. Won't you come to him with all your care, weary and worn and sad? You too will sing as his love you share. Oh, say but I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad, I'm glad. Oh, say but I'm glad. Jesus has come and my cup's overrun. Oh, say but I'm glad.
You may be seated.
Why don't we do this? We'll take up, you may be seated. We'll take up Avery's offering, and we'll sing happy birthday. So Dad's going to have to lead in that before the special, amen. So Avery, you come on up here and your helpers with the offering. I know you recruited a team of trustworthy people. I told him, you got to trust these kids, man. You never know. Money be coming out of that birthday money. And, man, 12 years old. My goodness. Man, that's hard to comprehend, you know that. Go ahead, Dad. Lead in happy birthday, and here you go, honey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. I've had many tears and sorrow. I've had questions about tomorrow. There've been times I didn't know right from wrong. But in every situation, God gave me blessed consolation that my trials come to only make me strong. I've been to lots of places and I've seen a lot of faces. There've been times I felt so all alone. But in those lonely hours, yes, those precious lonely hours, Jesus let me know that I was His own. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. I thank God for the mountains, and I thank Him for the valleys, and I thank Him for the storms He's brought me through. For if I never had a problem, I wouldn't know my God could solve them. I wouldn't know what faith in God's word would do. Oh, through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Yes, I've learned to depend upon His word.
Praise the Lord. Brother Lambert, it's up to you, my friend. It's all yours. Here on out. All right, you come on up and preach, my friend. Good to have you with us. You can make it feel welcome. It's all right. Amen. Amen. Brother, good to have you with us.
Well, it's good to be here, and let me say a very special good evening to everyone. I want to say thanks to the preacher for allowing me to come and to be with you for a little while this evening. I'll do maybe 2 or 3 things combined. I would share with you just a little bit about me, a little bit about our work, where we are, and then I'd preach to you a little bit from God's Word. So we get a little bit this evening. My name, as is established, is Michael Lambert, and I was born on the island of Grenada many years ago, believe it then. As a teenage boy, God saved me. I do not know how many of you are familiar with Grenada and the revolution. Grenada had a revolution, and in 1983, the American government, under President Reagan, sent in the troops and, so to speak, delivered us or rescued us from the hand of communism or socialism. Well, that happened in 1979. And when the revolution took place in 1979, as a teenager, I was part of it. So I wasn't going in any direction towards God.
From the time I was maybe 12 or 13, I started reading and studying, reading after Karl Marx, reading after Lenin, reading after the Cuban paper, reading. And so I was kind of brainwashed into believing that. But there's a God in heaven who knows to rescue you. And in 1980, while the revolution was still on, I was invited to a little church, and I went into that little church, and God changed my life. Heard the gospel preach. I saw a man open the Bible and preach straight out of the Bible. Never saw that in Catholic church. Right. And the second night that I went to that meeting, I committed my life to Christ. God saved me. There's nothing you can do to unsave me. God saved me. And I know he wrought a work in my life. Philippians says, he that had begun a good work in you will perform it. And so I just kept on serving the Lord. In 1984, I got saved in 1980. The Americans came in 1983, and we're thankful to that. But in 1984, a preacher came by at our church, and he preached, and my life took another turn. I was going to become a ball player, a soccer player. That was my passion, and that's what I was going after. But when that preacher came in 1984, and he preached a message on how Jesus rode a donkey into Jerusalem, God touched my life. Amen. I committed myself to Christ, and I said, Lord, if you would ever use me, here am I. Amen. That's in 1984. Amen. I left Grenada rather than going to play football. Left Grenada in 1984, went to St. Vincent on August 18th, 1984, and I went to learn God's word. That's what I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was to learn the word of God and to be strengthened from God's word. My heart was that I'd come back from there, and I'd go back to the street, go back to the people that I know on the block, and help them through God's word. I knew by then everybody needed to know about Jesus. Everybody. And so that was my heartbeat and passion. Well, I went back home in 1987, finished college, went back home in 1987, and along with several of the men on the island, and there's a missionary, and you would know him. His name is John O'Malley. John O'Malley is with New Testament Worldwide Missions. He is the field director. Well, he was a missionary in Grenada also. And we went into a village called Mamacan and started a church. And from the start of that church, I stayed there to help build the believers. 9 persons got saved, and I decided to stay to help those 9. Well, I've been there since, and we've seen God work miraculously. We've seen God save lives. We've seen God call men into the ministry. Out of our little church in the countryside, we're in the countryside, we're not in any town. I guess that's why I like the roads coming in here. But we've seen God call a number of men that are serving as pastors. We've got one as a missionary, full-blown missionary, and not on the island. He's in Zimbabwe, and he's doing a tremendous work in Zimbabwe, planted several churches, started a Christian school, and I've watched the hand of God. I believe that that's part of the call of my life, is to prepare men, help to prepare men for the ministry. There are lots and lots of people leaving the Christian work, but we can't leave. Jesus said, pray the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers. We need laborers in the vineyard. And part of my heartbeat is to help the men within our church, that they would see the burden, God would give them a burden. If I could have placed a burden inside of people, I would have done it. But I've got to depend on God. God would give them a burden, and God would call them into the field. I've lost every assistant pastor that I've had. I've lost, when I say lost, not negative. Not negative. They would come from college, spend a couple of months with me, and they're out in the ministry. And I give God the praise and the glory for that. And so that's part of what I believe my calling is to help shape men's life for ministry. I've been doing where I am for a number of years, and God has been faithful. God has been absolutely faithful. I'm thankful to the Lord also for the course in my life. I've had a lot of ups and downs. Got saved, going to ministry, started a great work, got married in 1988. And we had 2 children. My wife and I had 2 beautiful children. In the work, and in 2004, she passed away. Now, there is a God in heaven, and God knows how to take care of his people, his servants. For a while I thought I really wouldn't make it. But God knows how to deal with that too. And I'm in 2005, the end of 2005, I married Caroline. And she's been a great blessing. I mean, a tremendous blessing to me. And we go ahead and we have 2 more children. So we have 4 children altogether. And God has been good to us. Our oldest daughter got married on the 1st of July. So she's out of the roost. I'm going to marry them off one by one and empty the pack. But God has really been good to us. He's helped us along the journey. The church where we are have been constantly into our building projects. We have a philosophy, really and truly. I call it our vision/mission statement, where we desire to accomplish the mission of Christ. And let me just maybe pause here a minute and say to the church, thank you for Fellowship Track League. Thank you for what you've done. I never thought I would be a place that is connected to Fellowship Track League. I would have been seeing the Fellowship Track League lots and lots and lots of years ago, but never thought I would get into connection with it. Thank you for giving out the gospel. It is important. It may look as a little thing, but there's a gentleman, he's in Canada right now at our church, and he read a tract. I cannot remember which one he read. He read a tract and went home, knelt down by his bed, asked Jesus to save him, and then started coming to church. He's been with us for a long while, then he migrated, moved to Canada. As far as I know, he's still serving the Lord. Amen. If one soul gets saved, it is worth it. And I want to say to you, thank you so much. And thank you for being with Brother Tom. Brother Tom and I go back, and the preacher mentioned that already, a lot of years. He pulled up some pictures a couple of years ago of me when I was just a young, I was very athletic. And we would meet as churches and have combined sporting events. And the Americans had the access to camera. We didn't have camera. So he took pictures and did little video strips. And I didn't, he still has them. So we came to his home, and he pulled out some pictures, I'm telling you, of me when I had hair. I mean, we go back a long way. It was again, in the plan of God, God makes no mistake. It was very unfortunate when he had to leave the island. But God knows what he is doing. If we yield ourselves as we're supposed to, there is no pressure. God will do what he desires to do. Brother Tom came back, get into the fellowship track printing. And I didn't dream that I would ever be here. No time at all in my life. But one thing leads to another. And here I am this evening. And I want to, according to our Caribbean expression, I want to big him up on that. Meaning, I want to thank him for the connections. And I want to thank you here for the fellowship for doing a great job. Please don't stop. You've recently sent us in our Grenada Bible Project 400,000 tracts. We have 100,000 persons averagely living on the island. We've got 4 tracts for every national. And we've been giving them out. You would be surprised that the tracts printed here, churches that are coming in and getting tracts or getting a box of tracts or a pack of tracts, you'd be surprised who they come from. Church of Christ, Church of God. So they're getting solid. They're getting solid for it, you know. And I'm so thankful to God for that. Only eternity would reveal all that is going to happen here in Grenada. And we've got a Bible project going. It's been fantastic. We've given out approximately 43,000 Bibles already. And there are lots of villages, schools, areas that we still are going to continue doing that Bible distribution. You know, and I just pause to say to the church, thank you for every part you played in all of this. Let me just continue mentioning quickly that at our church, our vision mission statement is to accomplish the mission of Christ. That is the spread of the gospel, the salvation of souls, the development of the church. To accomplish the mission of Christ to the local church, I was mentioning to the preacher, I'm very strong local church. Amen. I'm very, 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 very passionate concerning. I personally believe God works through the local church. Amen. I do not have much respect for people who think that they don't need church. Yeah. I believe God established the church, yeah. And we've got to work through the church. I personally believe that. Amen. And so you'll find that my passion is that at our church, through our church, we spread the word of God. And how do we do it? People need to be personally prepared. So we've got personal preparation. Then they need to participate in propagation. And we need to spend time in prayer, persistent prayer. That's in our vision statement. And when it comes to the end of our statement, we say this, to cultivate a correct atmosphere at church. In other words, keep a right fellowship, keep a good spirit. As much as possible, keep a healthy, clean, honoring church to God. And God is going to continue working in the midst of us to cultivate a correct atmosphere at church and to serve our generation. There is a generation right now that's existing, and it's a difficult generation to deal with. But we have a responsibility to reach that generation for Christ. And our passion is to reach the generation in our vision. And then we say to build and to facilitate our structure, our church building. I know the church is more than the building, but the building makes up part of what represents our Lord Jesus Christ. And so we do the best we can. We build our building to the best we can. We don't compete. We don't compare. But we want to do the best we can. So from time to time, we get into little building projects. And last year, we started a building project. We started doing a welcome area. When people come in, we have one main building. And we do everything in our building. Well, we're just putting a little room now at the front of it, connected to the main building, that when people come into the building, there's a little welcome area. Well, that is about almost finished. The floor is done, the walls are up, the roof is on, and on this strip here now, I am mentioning, and God has already showed himself faithful to that, I'm mentioning windows. We're going to put in 10 windows. And we're going to put in windows that could give us breeze. We don't have AC at our church. For your information, I don't wear a coat. All right? Amen. Because the island is hot, it's tropical. And but we would want the windows to turn in a way that we could trap all the breeze we can get, especially mid-window. And we need 7 more of those windows. I mentioned this morning at the church where I came from in Kettering, pray for us. And I mentioned in here, pray for us. Each window is about $650. Amen. And then we had a VBS, and the children came in, but the rain came down. The yard is dirt. So you know what they did? Yeah. Even if you say, make sure you wipe your feet, it didn't mean much. They came right in, and we did not want the mud to get into our. The structure God gave us, my concept is we're going to use it, but we want at the same time to maintain it in the best way for God's glory. Amen. So we've decided to help curb that and to save the windows from being busted when we weed it. We're going to concrete the yard. I mentioned to the preacher earlier. I mentioned this at Carolina Baptist Church in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And the preacher said, how much concrete do you want? And I told him from the calculations for a 4-inch thick slab what it was. Well, he decided we're going to take all the concrete. And so they're taking all that. As a matter of fact, they've already, I have not seen it, but they've already sent in a check taking all the concrete. Wow. And so now we're going to put in the concrete BRC, the 6x6 or 8x8 BRC to help hold the concrete. And we need 4 rolls of BRC because it's going to be a 76 by 45 feet wide slab. And that would take us about 42 point something yards at 4-inch. Now we're going to move it from 4. Somebody said, would vehicles be running on it? And I said, yes. They said, here is what. Don't put 4. Put 5 or 6. Well, I calculated for 4. Here is the deal. God already sent us the additional what we need to make it 5.5-inch thick. God has been good. Amen. Now I'm saying to you, pray with us that we're going to get the 4 rolls of BRC, and each roll is $560. That's the steel BRC wire. That would do us well. With that, we'd be smiling at the storm. And I'm mentioning that so that you would pray about it with us. God is a faithful God. I just want to thank you again for all that you do with us and for us. Let me preach with you for a little bit. Now, if there is any question, I'd love to answer it. I'd love to, maybe if you want to find out more about Grenada. I mentioned to the preacher that part of my passion, yes, if we get support for the work, praise the Lord. But I've got another side to this, partnershiping. I want partners. I want persons that we could come together and do the work of God. Organize your youth. Bring them down on a mission trip. They're going to see a different world. It's not America. Yeah. We've got no McDonald's. We've got no Burger King. We've got 1, maybe 3 KFC. We've got no Wendy's. We've got no... All right, so bring them down. Let them see another world. Sure. All right, and that's part of the passion that I have. Partnershiping. We help you, you help us. At the end of the day, we all die and go to heaven. Glory to God. All right, so that's part of the passion that I do carry. Take your Bible with me for a little while tonight. And I want you to turn to the book of Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5. How many of us would agree that there is nobody like the Lord Jesus? Amen. There would not be anybody like him. None. I don't care who it is. I mean, you could combine persons together. They still wouldn't reach the level of the Lord Jesus. We're going to look at him a little bit tonight. We're going to look at him as he prepares his servants for the long haul. Amen. Preparing his servants for the long haul. I believe when it comes to the matter of our Christianity, we're not in this for, it's not a quick fix. Serving the Lord is not just a get up on it's not a sprint. As a matter of fact, the Christian life in the Bible is described not as a sprint race, but as a marathon. In other words, we get into this for the long haul. Amen. Jesus is going to, we're going to watch how Jesus deals with his apostles because he's going to prepare them for the long haul. Amen. Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, let's read from verse number 1 quickly, maybe into verse number 4. Would you mind standing in honor of God's precious word? If you can. If you can't, it's okay. But if you can, please stand in reverence to God's precious word. Matthew 5 and verse number 1, it reads, "And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." And we could continue reading, but we would just skip down and read verse number 13. He is still speaking, especially to the disciples. And he says to them, "Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden or hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it, let me read it again. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light into all that are in the house." He says in verse 16, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." Now we'd stop here for our reading, and we'd just for a little while get something out of this, how Jesus is preparing his disciples for the long haul. Let's pray, ask him to help us tonight through his word. Let's pray. Father, we are so thankful for the moment we're in, for the opportunity you've granted, that, Lord, we could meet together for this great fellowship time. Thank you for the church. Thank you for the sweet spirit in here. But, Lord, we ask, oh God, as we open your word tonight, that you would speak through your word for the next few minutes. Challenge hearts, challenge my heart again. And, Father, help me, oh God, to Lord, plant myself and to position myself that, Lord, out of me, much could be accomplished. Not just me, but all of us. Help, dear Father, as we depend upon you now. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. You may be seated. Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7 is a one-sitting session. We find it difficult in our preaching to preach Matthew 5, 6, and 7 in one shot. But it is a one-shot sitting. I want you to notice from the very onset here how the scripture says Jesus prepares the scene to teach. Watch back verse 1. Notice how Jesus prepares a great scene to teach, because it is in the teaching of Jesus here that we're going to get the long haul. Verse 1 says, "And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set," I'd pause here a minute. The Bible is making it clear to us that Jesus is going to put the disciples, or have the disciples apart by themselves. There was a multitude, but he did not want the multitude in this bit of information. He wanted the disciples to really get this. Because if the disciples get this here in Matthew 5, 6, and 7, there is no stopping them. Amen. So he goes to a mountain, and when he gets to the mountain, I want you to notice the Bible says, and when he was set. In other words, Jesus looked around and positioned himself so that the disciples that are going to come to this point would be so strategically laid out that when he begins to teach, there is no, obstructions. The Bible said when he was set, meaning when he had everything ready. This is not a fly-by-night. This is not how we will say in Caribbean terminologies, a whoop. This is an organized something. Jesus has an intention. What is his intention? That those that come through this session would really continue and do exploits. The Bible says in verse 1, now he has the stage set. Who is it that comes up the hill? Verse 1. And when he was set, the scripture says, his whom? Disciples. The disciples came. So the disciples are sitting down for a classroom session. He's going to speak to those disciples. He's going to stir those disciples. And he's going to give those disciples how they need to perform. The first thing he does, he encourages the disciples by helping them to realize that their calling and their being with him brings them into a position to be blessed. I want us to notice that. He wants them to feel this. Laboring for me, working with me, is not no drear. It's a blessed position. So he says this, and we could read now what we learn as the Beatitudes. But Beatitudes are really Jesus kind of resonating in the mind, in the heart, in the will, in the drive of the disciples, that you are positioned to be blessed. And so he says this, blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are they that mourn. And I'm just reading the first part of every verse. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Blessed are, verse 11, what does it say? Ye. So he's continuing to speak with them. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. They are sitting down. Don't miss that. The disciples are sitting there and they're listening to the Lord Jesus Christ as he continues to just say the stuff that makes a man blessed, fortunate, positioned. So, listen, sometimes we measure blessings. We think blessings is in dollars and cents. There is no dollars and cents mentioned here. He is saying blessed, and he gives them attitudes. He tells them, listen, be a peacemaker. He give, along with that, he is saying, listen, folks, you are positioned to be blessed. If you walk with me, if you stay with me, if you follow me, you're positioned to be blessed. And I want to say to the church tonight, I believe with all my heart what Jesus said to the disciples there is applicable for us. We are still positioned in the hour that we are in to be blessed of God. And listen, it's good when somebody helps you, but there is nothing greater than when the blessing comes from whom? We are positioned to be blessed. He said, fellas, you're positioned to be blessed. Don't miss that. You walk with me, you sit at my feet, you follow me, you are positioned to be blessed. Let me just ask a simple question. The disciples that were following Jesus, most of them were what kind of men? What were they trade? Fishermen. Fishermen. They didn't come from no scholarly background. They were simple, common men. And sometimes when people look at themselves, they think of themselves, you know what? I didn't come from no great scholarly background. I don't have a PhD. I didn't go to Harvard University. I don't think, and Jesus is saying, don't ever see yourself because of where you came from, that you cannot do much for me. You are still positioned if you follow me. If you follow me, you're still positioned to be blessed. Jesus said to them, you're positioned to be blessed. But not only did he say to them, you're positioned to be blessed, but I want you to watch verse number 13. Verse number 13, he says, still speaking to whom? This is what he says to them now. Ye are the what? Salt of the earth. And in verse 14, ye are the... Hold on a minute. Jesus is speaking to fishermen that he called from their work. He's first of all saying to them, fellas, you're positioned to be blessed. But then secondly, he's saying to them, you are like salt and you are like light. And I say, you know what? You're privileged to be important. He's saying you are privileged to be important as salt and as important as light. And now, most of them come from the Galilee region. Read the text. Read it. Just go back and read verse 13 and 14. Ye are the salt of where? Where? Why didn't he say you are the salt only in your area? Jesus didn't say you are the salt of Capernaum. He didn't say you are the salt of Galilee. He said you are the salt of where? The whole earth. He's saying you're going to be important not just to where you are. You are important to me, to the whole earth. Verse 14 says what? You are the light of where? Jesus did not say you are the light of your territory. He said you are the light of the whole world. And I'm just saying to us this evening, we are positioned to be blessed, yes. But it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be important to God. The world may not see you as important. But God sees every single one of you as very important. Important not just for, where are we here in this area again? Lebanon. Not just for Lebanon. If you only see yourself in Lebanon, you're short-sighted and you need my glasses. You've got to see yourself and how God sees. Listen, I don't just see myself as being in Mama Can in a little dotted island called... Listen, I'm a servant of the living God. When I got saved and I yielded myself to God, I became important to God, not just for Grenada, but for the whole world. I'm like salt. I remember when I preached at that church, I said, you know, if a young man goes to a young lady and he says, girl, you're like salt. She may want to slap him. Because she don't think, you know, if he says, you like honey, she smiles. But Jesus didn't say you sugar. Because as far as he was concerned, salt was more important for the entire development of man than sugar. Salt is more important than sugar. And so Jesus said, listen, you are important to me for the whole world. And I want to remind us, folks, watch. What you do, you print tracts in how many languages, I think? Over 90 languages. That's touching a lot of the world. Now, if you don't see that, if the church misses that, then they miss the opportunity to really be salt and light. One of the things that we all struggle with is darkness. As soon as if the place gets dark and somebody just draw one stick of match and it lights up, you could almost hear the, you know why? Man, we don't like darkness. We all like to be in light. We like to be in bright. We like to be where we could see. We could know what we're eating. And God is saying, listen, you are the light not just of your area. You are important to me, to the whole world. Go down to verse 16, and this is how he asks you to function now. Verse 16 says what? Let your what? Let your light Uh-huh. You see, no, the scripture is powerful. We can say, let your light shine, and that's all right. But this is not what the Bible says. Jesus is speaking. Remember, and I said the boys, the men are sitting right there. And they are soaking in every word. There is little or no distractions. Jesus positions himself that what he's instructing them, they could really get it. And he said, listen, fellas, let your light so shine. Let your Christianity make such an impact. Be ready to go so far. Be ready to make such a sacrifice that it affects the whole world. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. And the glory is not yours. Don't try to grab the glory. You want men across the world to turn their lives to whom? To God. I have a serious problem when we get too involved and all we want is people to respect us. Who are we? Just a lump of clay? Who really are we? We are not the important thing. God is. When I get up on a Sunday morning, to encourage our church. Listen, I want you to walk with God. I want you to get to know that you could walk with God. You alone could walk with God. You and God can have a great relationship. I mean, just you and the divine God. That's important. You are to so shine that men would see your good works and turn and say, glory to God. Your position to be blessed. Your privilege to be important. And thirdly tonight, he says you could perform above the norm. Amen. You don't have to live like the others. Yeah. You're in chapter 5. Read verse number 20. Read verse number 20. Yeah. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, verse 22, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way first and reconcile to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Jump down to verse 26. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means, verse 27, sorry. Verse 27 says again, ye have heard that it was said by them of old times, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Jump down to verse number 31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, go down to verse 33. Again you have heard that it hath been said by them of old times. Jump to verse 34. But I say unto you, if you go down into verse number 38, you have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye. But I say unto you, you have heard, verse 43, ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you. Now what is Jesus doing?
You got it.
Over and over and over, while the disciples are sitting down there in that classroom setting, as he prepares them to become a great servant for God in the future. Yes, he tells them they're privileged to be blessed, they're positioned to be blessed. He tells them they're privileged to be important. But he's telling them what? Listen to me. You could perform above the normal. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to go based on what you've heard. You have heard that it was said by them of old times. But you don't have to go by that. I'm giving you a higher level of performance. You see, if you go just by what you have heard from them of old times, you're going to go an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's not going to impact anybody. If you only love those who love you, you're not going to impact anybody. If you only greet those who greet you, you're not going to impact anybody. What is he saying? He's saying, I want you to perform above the normal. In order to do that, you can't be as the hypocrites. You see, there was a religious group around. The religious group had their influence. Jesus did not want the disciples to look anything as the scribes and Pharisees. He didn't want them to just dress as them, walk as them, look for the praise of men, have public image of. He did not want that. So, because if you do just what they did, you're not going to make any impact for the rest of your life. Amen. You've got to perform a little above the normal. How do you do that? You go with what he says and not what the public says. Amen. In America right now, we've got to go based on what, help me tonight, what he says, not what the public says. I'm hearing your cry. I'm feeling and I know there's a voting coming up somewhere in the region here because we're going to go with what he says. Amen. Everybody with me? And not with it. You see, the norm would go down with their standards from one level to the next. Soon, this world, which is going to be abnormal, is going to want to take the abnormal and let it be like the normal. And we've got to say no. We're going with what he says. We're going to function based on what he says. Because when we go with what he says, I'm going to function above the normal. Listen, I don't have to hate people. I don't have to despise anybody. I've got to know that everybody has a soul that needs to be saved, and they need to be saved the same way. Red, yellow, black, white, pink, and in between. And if a person doesn't come to know Jesus as his Savior, then I need to remind him that, listen, you must trust Christ or else you're going to die and go to hell. I'd say this will not be done. I preached at a funeral at our church recently. It came out as a joke. I didn't intend it to be. And I said to the people, the full church, I mean, maybe 250, 300 people there. I said, let me say this to you. There are some of you in here who I'm telling you, please don't die. I say, I'm begging you, don't die. Because if you don't know Jesus and you die, you're going to want to get up. So don't die. When you get to know Jesus, then you could die. But if you don't die. I don't have to function as how the norm does. And chapter 6 gives us in all the ways. In alms giving, how you give. I don't have to make it a show. Chapter 6 tells me in prayer. I don't have to be like the hypocrites. If you read chapter 6, he's telling them, and don't be like the hypocrites. And don't be like the hypocrites. And don't be like, Jesus did not want his disciples to be a hypocrite. He wanted them to be real. I mean, just to be real. And I'm saying to us tonight, we can be the same thing. If we want to impact Lebanon for a long time, if we want to impact not just Lebanon, whatever the next two cities or towns are, for a long time, then you and I need to, one, sit at the feet of Jesus. Understand when we are there, we're positioned to be blessed. And then understand that, listen, it's a privilege to serve him because he's going to make us salt and light. And we're going to shine. He wants us to shine for the world. And then thirdly, don't function as the norm. Go above the normal. And watch God keep you going, impact others by your going, and see this thing for the long haul. Every head bowed, every eye closed. Every head bowed, every eye closed. How many of us in here this evening would say, preacher, I would just like to get in this for the long, I am in this for the long haul. For the long haul. I don't want to be a visitor. I want God to use me mightily for the rest of my life. Preacher, I'm getting in this for the long haul. Persecution may come, but don't miss this. When you suffer for Christ, there is a blessing behind it. And tonight you say, preacher, pray with me. I'm going to just recommit myself to Christ for the long haul. For the long haul. Pray for me. Anybody? I know I see hands up. Yeah, thank you. I see that hand. I see that. Listen, hands are going up everywhere. I'm going to pray, but I'm going to ask you if you can, leave your seats where you are. Let's find a place around this altar and speak to the man. Listen, in a nutshell, let's bring ourselves at the feet of him and desire to hear from him. So you come if you can. Even while I pray, the music going to play, the preacher is going to take over, but you come. My life I'm committing to Christ for the long haul. I'm getting in this for the long haul. I'm getting in this for as long as I've got breath. I'm getting in this for as long as God would ever have me. If you're here this evening and you're not saved, then give your heart to Christ tonight and get in this for the long haul. Father, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for stirring my heart again. I pray you take the truth of your word, the simplicity of it, and Father, keep ministering to lives. Be with those at the altar, those hands that have been raised, and oh God, hearts that you have nudged or spoken to. Lord, give them the unction and the courage that, Father, they would step out. God, they would commit themselves to you, Lord, for the long haul. Take control. In Jesus' mighty name. Preacher.
Well, heads are bowed and all eyes are closed still. I want to ask you one question. Maybe you're here tonight and you say, preacher, you know what, to be honest, I'm not even sure that I'm saved. Is there anybody here like that? You'd say, would you pray for me? Anybody like that? You raise your hand, we'll pray for you. Anybody like that tonight? Young, old, anybody? Anybody say, preacher, pray for me. I'm not sure that I'm saved. Anybody like that? All right. Why don't we go ahead and stand to our feet? What page are we going to be on, Mother?
167.
167. What a good message. What a great message. Amen.
Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come, just as I am, and waiting not to rid my soul of one dark blot, to thee whose blood can cleanse each spot, O Lamb of God, I come, I come.
Piano's playing softly, amen. We'll
We won't rush them at the altar. Man, good message. Man, good message. Man, set your sights high. Amen. Wow, that was great, brother. Thank you, Brother Lambert. That was, praise the Lord. Amen. That was good. It's just what we needed tonight. I'll tell you what. Be in it for the long haul, friend. Be in it for the long haul. A lot of trials. Man, a lot of things come your way. Just say, man, I'm in it for the long haul. Man, that was just great. Wow. Man, one thing, what's the average income in Grenada for a person in your church, let's just say? $350 a week? A month? Month? Okay, $350 a month. All right. Is it?
That's about 8. In our money, that's about 8.5, 900.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's about
All right.
$350.
$350 U.S. money. And anyways, man, I like to help them with that project. You know, what's that? Yeah, windows. Two windows? Is that you going to buy 2 windows? Or you? Oh, somebody just offered to. You know what? Someone said, well, you don't get blessed. Sure you do. I mean, let your alms giving. I tell people, some things I'm just glad to be a blessing. Amen. And I'll be honest, the sun never sets on the missionaries our church supports. All around the world, we support missionaries. The Fellowship Track League, sun never sets. We literally have tracks in every single country in the world. That's to the glory of God. Amen. Our tracks say, free as the Lord provides. People ask me how we do it. I said, I have no clue. Amen. You don't look to me for some pattern. Amen. All I know is God provides the needs for that ministry. Anybody else like to buy a window? The windows are what, $650 a piece? Anybody else will say, oh, maybe you want to give something towards it. Amen. I think we had with that in mind, somebody's already offered to buy a couple. There's a window. There's 3 windows. You need how many windows, brother?
10. We need 7 more windows.
You already have 3 paid for?
I already have 3 paid for.
So 7, so now you're down to 4 you need paid for.
Yes, sir.
Man, there's a window. That's 3 you need paid for. Wow. Praise the Lord. Didn't know that. I told you. Amen. Praise the Lord. Never know. 1 window, okay. The 2 we need, 2 windows. You're going to buy a window? 1 more window. There's another window. No windows. Tell you what, if you raised your hand for a window, we'll put that to that wire mesh. Is that okay? The money you give for the window, because somebody just took that up. How many rolls of wire mesh you needed? 3, 4? You only need 1 now. You need 3 now, because we got 1 there, okay? Yep. Skylights, amen. Well, we need 3 rolls, and I mean, not everybody can give the $500, and that's understood. Well, that's all praise to the Lord, amen. Our church is a giving church. I've said that. I mean, honestly, I know it. 3 more rolls. Is that right? So, all right. How you give a roll? And I think they're $500 per roll. $560 a roll. Okay. Anybody else? 2 rolls. You say, oh, hey, praise the Lord. Amen. You're helping a church down there in Grenada. One thing Americans have, not always, but they have a little more money. Amen. And use that to get the gospel out. Amen. Amen. And we have air conditioning. Well, yesterday I was in my house and the air conditioning stopped working. It was 78 degrees. I walked over and went, oh no. I went down the basement, tore part of my AC unit apart, and it wasn't froze up. I went outside and I kicked the thing. Actually, I punched it. The fan wasn't working, Jack, so I'm beating on the fan, and the fan takes off and works. I went, praise the Lord, it's healed. Amen. You thought Benny Hinn was special. I'll tell you what. That was a joke, by the way. Why don't we take the other 2 out of the general fund? Amen. That'd be good. Y'all good with that? Be a blessing to this church. Amen. We good with that? That's everything, isn't it?
Thank you, preacher.
Oh, thank you. And be in it for the long haul, man. Praise the Lord. You know, be thankful that we have the ability to give. Amen. Praise the Lord. Thank you for giving. Amen. Brother, why don't you and your family go in the back foyer area and shake his hand before you leave. Amen. Amen. And praise the Lord. What a blessing. Thank you, church, for giving. Amen. I mean that. This church is a giving church, I'll tell you what. And it's a blessing that you have to give. Man, what a blessing. God's been good to you if you can. Good message. Amen. Good family. Well, let's go ahead and pray. Brother Luke, why don't you go ahead and lead us in prayer, all right? Amen.